clear case of why the state of Louisiana ought to allow us to they ought to revise this juvenile justice stuff. Here you got RAXX having rappers, 16, 17, 18-year-old rappers with wristbands that allow them to drink. And the evidence will show that you will have juveniles under 21 with alcohol accounts there, drinking accounts. And so when you mix alcohol, drugs, and guns, it's a gumbo recipe for people getting killed. And when the evidence is shown, you'll see that Trey Allen was a hero. I mean, he went there and literally saved this young kid, Tristan, from having been inflicted with great bodily harm. I mean, he literally saved this kid. I mean, they were kicking him and punching him, and he was on the ground. And Trey Allen runs over and literally stops him from just plummeting this poor kid. And when Trey does that, he's trapped between a wooden fence and the rest of the guys who are doing all the jumping on this kid. And then Trey's trapped between the fence and them, and the shooter, and he can't get out. So he tries to get out, and ultimately he loses his life. And under Louisiana law, when you have a juvenile who's involved in this type of activity, then you have to either put him on an ankle bracelet if there's no facility that will accept him. Although I have a question about whether or not the young man was really 18 years old or 17 years old. Of course, you have no real proof of proving the age until you actually get the driver's license or the birth certificates, things of that nature. But be that as it may, the legislature will have to revisit these rules, because when you're 16, 17 years old and you anoint yourself as a grown-ass person who wants to commit grown-ass criminal acts, then you should be tried as a grown-ass criminal, in my mind. Excuse my language. But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So under my watch, if you arm yourself with a gun and you want to commit grown criminal acts, and you're going to be tried as a grown criminal. And if you juxtapose that with a 12 or 13-year-old who takes a gun and does something simple or criminal, then I can see the legislature saying maybe this kid has some type of mental issue. But a 17-year-old arming himself with a gun and shooting someone because of simple pleasure of wanting to anoint himself in some superiority position, then you should suffer the consequences. In this case, my office plans to fully prosecute the killers of Trey Allen and anyone who's involved in it.